Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Hardcore Dave.
And this is Spies, Lies, and Allies seasonal overview recap, basically spanning from episode 2 to episode 15. We're going to somehow find it within ourselves to sum it up in plot points and kind of paint a picture of what the season's been like.
Yeah, we got a lot of material we got to pack into this, or a lot of material we have to unpack. One of the
two. Either way, call us, and we live in Wisconsin, Dave. Call us the Green Bay Packers of information, of challenge information. Whatever. Okay, let's start. Amber B arrives, Dave, and people aren't into it, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of the chicks were glad she wasn't there because she had won last season with CT, and I think girls are a little afraid of her because they know how well she did in the final. So when she shows up, everyone's a little pissed off because a lot of the girls don't like her, and they do the typical thing on the challenge where everybody just acts like, oh, I don't like this person because of their personality. I hate how fake they are. And I'm not going to hear defend Amber B's personality because it is what it is. She seems kind of annoying to me too. But it's people not admitting that they find her as a threat. It's that's the real reason you want her gone. If you didn't think she was a threat, you wouldn't give a shit. You would tolerate the bad personality.
Yeah, and good points. But the other bewildering thing is that fucking Fessy and Casey are like, no, we don't want to work with you. She's willing to work with Big Brother inside of an already solid veteran alliance, and they're not going to want it. It's fucked up. This Big Brother alliance is completely shattered this season,
Yeah, because Josh wanted to keep her in. Because Josh wanted to be him, Amber B, Casey, and Fessy. But Fessy and Casey, they're really good, but they're also, it seems very arrogant in a lot of the ways that they carry themselves in the game, where it's they don't want the help from Amber B just because they had a little beef that they had. And it's just that mentality is kind of a newer player's way of looking at it. I think older vets, they realize, you have to kind of screw people over every once in a while, but you have to let it go and just leave that in the past. That was last season. This is a new season. You need to keep your alliance strong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Casey and Fessy basically, or at least in Casey's part, she clearly chooses Fessy over Josh, So she's not only saying, I don't need you, Amber B, but I also don't need you, Josh. Because Josh is being rational. He's actually, I have it written down where I'm Josh is good now, where he makes sense, where he's Fessy is a loose cannon. And Casey's you don't know what you're talking about, so step away. We're not going to work, Josh is what? I want to cry, but he doesn't really. He doesn't cry. I just got to get this out of the way. Josh is good now, right?
He is. It's wild. I've never liked Josh ever, and then this season it was just I'm agreeing with Josh in this situation. As crazy as it is.
Yeah. It's he went through puberty, you're dismissing him when. That sounds gross, actually. He just changed. He matured, right?
Yeah.
He's developed. Yeah,
I mean, he still has the awkward crying moments. A little
but
further,
not as often.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're well earned when he does cry. I want to say. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it kind of reminds me of Tony. When Tony first showed up, his first 2 seasons, I fucking hated Tony. He was just the worst. And then all of a sudden, Tony was awesome, and he was one of my favorites. And now, I fucking miss him every time there's a new cast for a season. I look, I'm it's Tony on there. It's Tony on there. And then I get pissed off when he's not there. But I'm not that far with Josh yet. If Josh is not on next season, I'm not gonna be oh, bummer.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. Just jumping ahead, like he is gone. You know,
Yeah.
um, he's gone recently. Episode 15, he's gone. We'll get into that more, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Where I'm like, I started to agree with him, and it's like Josh was one of those go-tos of my like critiques. Where I'm like, oh fuck this, I can't stand the guy, and I've always said I don't want to hate the show. Well, I haven't always said it. I have said it though, so that's
You
enough.
have.
I don't want to hate the show. God damn it! If Bananas were all of a sudden just turned fucking awesome and like good-hearted and shit like that, I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome. What a fucking weird arc. But at
Hmm.
least you got that way. I want to say, if anyone, CT was that guy, right? Wasn't he kind of a fucking horrible asshole? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's still sort of an asshole now, but in different ways, more
Hmm.
game ways or whatever, right? So yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, Josh is acting very maturely. He's trying to keep the peace instead of just like breaking everything down and shit like that. So yeah, it's good. We got to go on though. This is just episode 2. Come on. What else I have? Nelson picks Berna over Ashley. Do you remember that little bit of that little slice of drama?
Yeah.
Um,
Like
yeah.
slightly. It makes sense though to me, like in my head, because if you look at like last year, CT like was with Amber, just like a rookie unknown. Or well, I mean, I guess it was Darrell and Amber B for the
Oh no
beginning
no
part
no!
of the
I'm talking
season.
about romantically, dude.
Oh,
Remember Nelson was banging Ashley and Berna, and then he eventually left Ashley because remember Ashley's like you and Bertha.
oh,
I hear the cats.
yeah. That's yeah. Kitty is scratching himself. We put a collar on him, so he just scratches at it.
With a bell, I've
To
noticed.
remove it. Yeah, it does. So that way the prey will always hear him coming.
But yeah, I remember you didn't care. You completely disagreed with Nelson hooking up with Ashley,
Yeah,
and but
it's just
yeah,
disturbing. It's just like no, like under no circumstance. And like in the way my brain works is I'm like, okay, I have to figure out a logical reason as to why Nelson is with Ashley. And the thing that I came up with was they probably had to quarantine because of COVID before the show. So they probably, all the people from the cast were all thrown into a different, like a hotel room, or at least, a floor in a hotel. And Ashley's room was next to Nelson's room. So they just ended up hooking up because they had to quarantine for like 10 days.
uh,
And that's like all of a sudden when the show starts, they were together, and it seemed like it was recent. So I think they just started to hook up out of boredom, being stuck in a hotel room. Like
right.
that's the only way I can kind of justify it.
Yeah, but then I was like, he course corrected with Berna.
Which was good,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah, um, yeah, exactly. And she's pretty cool. I liked her. I was sad when she finally left. Yeah,
No
yeah. I was
patina,
like,
but she was pretty good.
Patina, good. Patina. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. So you're
you
trying
like
to drawing a
patina?
line in the sand
God,
already.
I'm so sad to
Yeah.
see her go.
But nice to see her walk away, that sort of thing. Yeah. Right. All right. On to episode 3. Holy shit! Here we go. Episode 3. I just have Sea Cave Recon, which was the mission of that day. Uh, to me, that was the most hardcore mission. I just want to admit this. I don't really care for most of the missions this season. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. But this one was hardcore. This was, as the Jackass crew would say, this was too gnarly, dude. We're not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So describe what it was to kind of refresh my memory.
You stand above this cave and there's water, and like the water is like fucking whacking back and forth on the rocks, like super rocky waters and shit. And you got to dive into there, go underwater, grab a key or whatever, go into the cave, which isn't very wide, and you're still getting whacked onto the sides of the rocks, you know? Grab that key on the other end, and then you both swim out and grab the water jet,
Jet
right?
ski thing, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't go on top of it. You have to hang on so that your shorts will get pulled down. Remember that?
Yeah. Who did that happen to?
CT and Tommy, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Tommy. It's Tommy.
Tommy, he gets a concussion because this is so hardcore. I'm sure he got whacked on the side of that cave when he was swimming, man. Like this was no joke.
I still have no idea who Tommy is.
He was the redhead, real tall dude.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
He was from Survivor, dude. I've seen him on Survivor. He won a season of Survivor. I was so fucking stoked for him this season. And when he got the concussion and he had to leave, I was so bummed out because he's intelligent. He's super smart the way he plays a game.
Yeah.
I really hope he comes back and has another appearance.
How ironic that he leaves with CTE, the very opposite of what he's known for. Okay, anyways. Okay, let's talk about the whole switch partners thing. The elimination versus the rookies. I have this written down. Basically, because we were talking about, like, this should be a rookie revolution. Rookie Revolution 2, right? They have the numbers. But it's just not happening. And I just remember you bringing up the great point of the fact that, like, the fact that the winners can pick any one from a team means you could always pick the rookies, you know?
Yeah.
So it was, it was just not the right. It was like the perfect counterattack to a rookie revolution, you know? It just, it just ruins the idea of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate because if you were partnered with a rookie, like not by choice, but that's who your partner is, you're targeted. Like there's always a freaking bullseye on that rookie. So it's, it's like poison. You don't ever want to be partnered with a rookie. So it's even more incentive to let's throw in rookies and make less rookies out there. So that way it'll increase my odds of not having a rookie as a partner. And it had like a snowball effect.
Yeah. Okay, so there is a giant veteran alliance. This is cool to see. But in episode 4, we're on to episode 4 now. Fessy is the first one to break that alliance by throwing in common veteran Amber B, part of his own Big Brother alliance. He is once again the first one to draw first blood. He's always the guy to like fuck someone over first, like he did with Nelson in Double Agents. You know?
Yeah. Fessy, like he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't think about how his actions will affect the rest of the game or the people he's working with. He's very selfish, and he just, I don't want her here, so I'm just gonna get rid of it now. I'm just gonna take care of this now.
Yeah, and she honestly wanted to work with you. You know, like, but it was also really fucked up because I remember Casey trying to reassure Amber B that Fessy's changed, when really Casey was like, I don't give a shit about Amber B. So like Casey is really kind of become, I don't want to say two-faced. That's not. There's a more polite term for that.
I was gonna say she is two-faced. I think Casey is two-faced, and I think CT is two-faced. I think both of them are, and that's why they're so good at the game, is the fact that they're two-faced. I think it's kind of an asset.
Well, I still think that Two-Face should be reserved for the most harshest, like Anissa is Two-Face, if anything. So I'm not going to put Casey in that zone. Okay. And CT is slightly out of that zone as well, even though they both could be. You get what I'm saying? That's why as soon as I said Two-Face, I'm like, no, that's reserved for some other.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a little harsh of a term. But
What
it's
cunt?
basically I consider someone Two-Face is like depending on the situation they're in, that changes their feelings on the situation. I don't feel like they're a straight shooter. If Casey has to defend Fessy, Casey will say whatever it takes to defend Fessy, and she's just going to take that side of the argument, even if she knows that she's wrong and Fessy is wrong. She's just going to stand up for that belief that he's right because she's working with him. In the same way, like CT does the same thing, where he's your friend to your face to like Kyle, but then when he knows that he's probably has to throw in Kyle, then suddenly he's like, no, we're not that friends. He's like, oh, what? We hang out and talk about our kids all the time? No, we're not friends. And it's just like, there's a little Two-Face to it.
There's honestly, if I were to take the time to like think of a better, softer, more shaded word for Two-Face, I would come up with that right now, but I can't. But with CT and Kyle, I've talked about it a couple times on podcasts where I'm like, I love their relationship because CT is always saying like, dude, we could hang out and shit, but I do not trust you. And Kyle is always like, you can't trust me in confessions, you know what I mean? So it's like CT is like, I fucking watched the show, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's always up front with how much he doesn't trust Kyle to Kyle's face. So I don't see that as Two-Face. It's something else. It's something more nuanced, a little bit more nuanced than Two-Face. It's something more special, but I don't know what it is yet. But hey, man, dude, let's get on to episode 5. We're doing pretty good. Episode 5, Anissa, medical DQ. Oh no, cat. Wow. Kitty cat.
Didn't she like fell and hurt her shoulder?
Honestly, it looked like she fell on her feet and then she grabbed her shoulder and she fell on that shoulder.
I think she hurt her shoulder because she was hanging onto something. And then when her body weight like fell down, it like extended her arm. And I think it like, I don't know if it dislocated it or at least stretched out her arm enough where it hurt it.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't gone back to watch it too much because I'm like 100 times is enough, Vince. You don't have to keep watching her hurt herself. No, that didn't actually happen.
You all right, moving on to like a 4-second loop. You're like, yeah.
Episode 6. Casey and Nani sitting in a tree. Yeah, how do you feel about these two? Because it's really not that prominent in the rest of the season. We just know that they're together. Yeah, any thoughts about them?
Not really. It's like Nani has never been like a lesbian before that I'm aware of, at least that I remember. Like Nani's always gotten around, but it was always with dudes. And now she's with Casey, and it's like we see that a lot on the challenge. Do you remember like Laurel has had like bi moments and with what's her name? Nicole, yeah. I don't know. You seem to see it a lot. I don't know. It's a weird situation when you get 25 people, throw them all in the same house.
Hold on though, I'm not questioning Nani's. Okay, well maybe you're questioning Nani's. Like, is she truly into this girl? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or is it like a showmance? My thing is like, Casey, don't get with Nani. Have you seen what she did to Kahada? She cheated on Kahada. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's always like hooking up. You're probably going to catch something, Casey.
Well, see, that was my point. That's what I was going to get to, was the fact that like Nani will just take whatever she can get. So the fact that
we're not
Casey's
slut
offering
shaming,
anything,
Dave. Wait, hold on. Tony hooked up as often as he could every season, right? Right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and we slut shamed him as well.
I shamed him every freaking season, like for the first 3 seasons until he finally had a girlfriend off the show that he was faithful to.
No, not even that. Not even
Yeah.
that.
Well, sometimes. Well, yeah, because there was the first time.
He was sometimes faithful.
Yeah. So with
That's
Nani,
awesome.
the problem with Nani is
Yeah.
that like you've been on this show like I don't know how many seasons, 12 seasons or some shit.
Yeah.
So you need to like ration out your hookups. When you start like at the beginning when there was like multiple hookups per season, that's not good. And then when it's a consistent every season, that's not good. Like it's like I don't know. At least I want to see a progression of where you're getting better taste. And I think Casey is, I don't know, not as good as Kahada, but she's, I guess, in the middle ground. She's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just. I notice you always notice it about Nani that she's always trying to hook up with somebody, and it seems like
Right.
she'll take whatever she can get. It doesn't matter if they're a guy or a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. And it's easy for me to sit here and say this or that about Nani, but if I was put in that situation and there's like all these hot ass fucking 20-year-olds that are like crazy in shape,
Mm-hmm.
camera whores, I'd probably just hook up every season if I could, sure.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I had a problem with was the fact that she cheated on Kahada. Like she had to get 2 dick in that season instead of just the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think the problem is you don't want to be like Corey because like when Corey like hooked up with Anissa, like that wasn't great. Like he's not proud of that. But you know what? Like this year when he's like hooking up with Bettina, I'm like, all right, good job, Corey. Like you upgraded a little bit.
He wasn't hooking up with Bettina, was he?
I think they were. It seemed like at some points, it seemed like everybody was hooking up this season. There was a couple episodes where it's like everybody was like coupled off, and all of a sudden, it seemed like one episode. All of a sudden, Bettina and Corey were like super close, and she was rooting for
Okay.
him, and she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend or whatever, but they seemed to be close, and she was upset when he left, or he was upset when she left.
The one with the laugh.
I don't remember what her laugh was.
No? She's like, No?
I don't remember. I don't
Sorry,
recall.
I'm also kind of sick, so that probably didn't transfer. Okay, next. How do you feel about the Alien song?
Oh my god. It's one of the all-time lowlights of the show. It was so bad.
Dude, okay, they were like, she could write a hook. I'm like, from what I could tell, that's all she wrote. I'm an alien. I'm an alien.
But
Like that.
the thing is, it's like what you've been saying is they have this little mini bar set up at the house, but they don't have any like music going. They like dub music over it. It's just like awkward like rumblings of like an audience and people just talking in the background. It sounds like an office party with no music. And then when they finally like have some music, it's the worst karaoke you've ever heard. That's so bad.
It's her own song. That's not technically karaoke. It's a cappella, if anything. I don't know.
Oh, it's bad.
All right, so next we have Tori instigates, and this really got on my nerves. Tori instigates the pizza fight between Fessy and Amber B. Esther tries to defend Fessy and throws a drink in Amber B's face. I mean, Amber B and Fessy were already like at each other before this. Like, temperatures were high. And then fucking Corey, I think, he goes and grabs Josh, or does Tori also grab Josh? Maybe, yeah, I think she might have grabbed Josh as well. I don't know. But yeah, this was just like, she was just orchestrating this shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hate
It was
it.
bad.
There's nothing that there's lots of things I hate more, but it's on the list of things that I hate is when people instigate stuff like that. When it's like after a night of drinking and then you're like the person that's asleep, you're going to go wake them up or they're in the other side of the house and you're like, hey, so-and-so just said this and they did this just to throw two people who are intoxicated and pissed off and don't like each other, and now you're gonna have them fight each other. It's like they were chill.
Yeah.
Like Tori doing this, I got super like I like Tori. I'm a big fan of hers, but I lost a little bit of respect in that on that episode because I was like, that's
Yeah.
shit you don't do. Like she's above that. She's better than that.
Right. And that's the thing. The girls that you would totally do, you could totally lose respect for them and still do them. It's fine, right?
That's true.
All right. Anyways,
Is there a person you're thinking of here?
Generalities, Dave. Generalities.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were like taking like the viewpoint of Casey and Nani or something. I wasn't sure.
No, I mean it's truly generalities. Like you could lose. Well, okay, whatever. I gotta get you. All right, so let's get on to episode 7. Fessy is kicked out after the scuffle started by Tori, who, yeah, I mean it's hard to, if you were on a jury and she's like, oh my god, I didn't mean to instigate it, yet you were like, oh my god, how could I send that ass to jail? You know.
Are you sure we're gonna make her serve hard time, Vince?
I was gonna call her Tori Ritter. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go down that road. Okay.
We're the only people who can comment on
it. Okay, so Fessy is kicked out, but in the most horrible way, because this is the picking up from episode 6. But TJ comes in and he says something that should have been said by a contestant, not himself. He comes in, he's like, you know, it's not good when I show up in the house. I fucking hated it. I was like, dude, you're so full of yourself. Oh my god. It's like when he says, you know, this is trivia. You know, I like trivia. It's like, dude, let us say it. You know, you're talking in the third person, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Have they done trivia this season? I don't feel like they have.
Shit. No. You would think they had to have by now, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
They haven't. And like, honestly, every episode, I'm like, when they're starting off the mission, I'm just like staring at it like, oh God, please don't be trivia. Please don't be trivia. Because I feel like the trivia episodes kind of suck now because there's so many damn questions and it takes forever. And they still have to edit half of it out because it's too stretched out and there's too much stuff going on. And you don't even like see any of the stuff in the house or the politics or the conversations going on because it takes up 75% of the episode. Oh, I'm sure trivia will probably be next week.
Oh God, episodes, leave it until the very end. Actually, that would be a breath of fresh air if it's at the very end.
It makes more sense if you have less contestants.
Yeah. Oh God, the origin of this, the big inspiration of trivia, was a spelling bee in the Duel 2. They were above water and they had to spell shit. And it was perfect because some people came off as dumb, but it's like, hey, spelling is, do you think it's 50-50? Do you think there's like levels in spelling? You know, like, how do you feel about spelling?
I think it's difficult. I've always sucked at spelling. So I think you've always hated like the math part with like the long math problems. Like me, I've always hated spelling. Like it sucks.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Well, either way, though, that moment, because that's when TJ had the moment to, oh my God, we're so off fucking track. Jesus Christ.
Okay. That's okay.
Basically, TJ took it upon himself. No, it just happened naturally. That's what made it good. He was laughing his ass off at either people misspelling shit or their crazy falls. Remember MJ going like that? Remember that? And they played it back like 3 times during the episode to like just make him look so, he was so embarrassed by that episode.
They showed it
Yeah.
3 times. Then they went to commercial. Came back from commercial. Showed
Yeah.
it 3 times. You're like, oh my god.
But like TJ's laughing uproariously, and it's appropriate. But it's just been manufactured now. They're just like, this is going to happen every fucking time.
Every mission, something has to happen, and then you have to cut to TJ, and he's laughing. And it's okay. I don't know. It was funny at first. I was okay with it, but then it happens way too much, too often.
Okay. So Fessy's kicked. So Fessy's kicked out. We're mad at Tori, but how do you feel about Fessy? How do you feel about Josh? How do you feel about this?
I don't even remember exactly what the argument was. I just know that they hated each other because of the Big Brother alliance kind of falling apart. So they didn't like each other. I was on Josh's side, is all I remember. I don't remember what the details of it. But it was a stupid situation that shouldn't have happened because Tori kind of instigated it and put them together against each other.
Yeah.
But I was fine when once Fessy kind of like hit him or pushed him in the face or whatever. It wasn't like a terrible shot at him or anything. But once he did, I was like, I knew that Nelson got sent home because he did that against Derek that one season. And it was like barely hit him, but it was kind of like a push to like the side of the face. But he got sent home for that. And I'm like, this is worse than that situation. I'm like, they have to send Fessy home, like based on the precedent that they've set.
Although double agents, remember how many times Josh was shoving Devin or like punching buildings? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They fucking let him slide.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, Fessy's gone. Crazy. Emmy goes into elimination because she wants to get with her Uncle CT. And CT, you said you've expressed disapproval about how much CT is just like showering her with fucking praise all the time,
Well,
I agree. By the way,
a good competitor, but her personality is annoying to me. I find her personality annoying. Like, it's okay in like some moments. I feel like she's fine and she's funny and she's likable, but then she always just takes it over the top a little bit, and then I just like recoil and like, oh my gosh, there's too much cringe.
oh man, yeah. I was gonna mention, and I thought I had it in the notes. Apparently not. Where it's like, Big T who, as in, remember last season? Every time Big T did a mission, she was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much," and they were like, "Oh my God, Big T, you did so much," or whatever. Now it's all about fucking Emmy. Emmy's doing the same thing, like win or lose. She's crying, she's angry, like. It's like she's so over the top where Big T is like, oh, fuck this. I'm not even going to try, She really hasn't, She's just like, I mean, it's just like soaking up all that particular attention. And it's all very over the top. It's unwelcome. I don't know. I'm sure Emmy does it for a lot of viewers out there, but I'm not all in. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I find her slightly annoying, and at the same time, I feel like it's almost like some turbo treatment where she's getting more screen time enough where it's like, did she win this season? Because she seems to like, they're putting her on screen like too much, it seems like.
Let's go on. Episode 8. And this is all I have for this episode because so little happened, but I did jot this down. Huey eliminated via his big ass.
Oh, I
Remember
forgot
that?
about Huey.
Wasn't it like fuck Priscilla and another rookie dude versus Huey and Berna?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Was
they
that
had to like
really fucking good? Can't remember his name.
Jay something maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. He was really good though. I thought he was like a sleeper pick as a
And
potential
I
win.
really like Priscilla. I fucking really like Priscilla. If I were to do my awards, I would. She gets a nomination, motherfucker. Priscilla's great. She was
Yeah.
awesome.
Huey's big ass.
Um,
Like they're like, oh, he can't do it. He can't stand up on that because his ass is too big and it's hitting the post. And I'm just like, okay, like Huey, your posture, like if you straightened your back out, your ass wouldn't be sticking out. Instead, he's like hunched over, and that's why his ass was hitting that pole, and he couldn't keep his balance. Like I felt like it was just his posture was making everything 10 times worse.
yeah. It was bad posture, but it also, I feel it was very ass. I don't know, profiling that ass. I just imagine if Gisela from All Stars, if she was doing that, she wouldn't get over one rung. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
And that's nothing but praise, Gisela. Like, holy shit, I like that. But yeah, like she would be screwed. She couldn't get up there. So yeah, I kind of felt for Huey a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. His gift is also his curse.
Yes. Okay. Episode 9. Okay, so after Corey and Br- Britina or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
After they win and they can shake things up, then TJ's like, no more partners. Just go up there and then he walks away. Episode 10. Now really nothing too much happens, right?
Well, there was it was a stupid cliffhanger like that because it was like, well, wait, are they all solo or are they going to be teams or like what's happening here?
Yeah. It was like a no, like someone forgot to write something to happen. Like something should have happened, or he should have said no more. He should have said something,
Mm-hmm.
anything, instead of just walking away. Like that was the worst. Yeah. Fuck. All right. So in episode 10, this is how we're going to discover 3 teams. And you have to choose between like 3 accomplishments that you have to do. One is like binoculars, and you just like that. I would have hated that. I never would have chose that. At first, it looked awesome, but I'm like, no, that would have been terrible. I don't know. What was the other one? Just fucking. Oh, you had to like lift large logs and put them in the hole, right? Do you remember any of this?
I remember some like visuals of it, but like it's a little.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking that it was kind of boring. I
Right.
was
Okay.
watching it.
But how do we feel about the? Okay, so to me, I'll just say it. Episode 10 of a season, you're going to abandon partners and establish 3 giant teams. Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm okay with big teams or like 3 teams. However, doing it at episode 10 into a season is a very odd place to do it. Especially if you look at the dynamic of this season, it was always vote in the rookies, get rid of the rookies. And then eventually, was it Esther or Priscilla like blew that up and she sent down
So
2 vet teams. So that way there wasn't going to be a rookie team anymore. So once she finally did that, the next episode they're like, yeah, now that the rookies have a chance in this, and there's no rookie teams anymore. They're like, well, we're just going to mix things up, and now we can have 3 separate teams, and now we can still vote in rookies all we want. It was almost like production wanted to make sure that the rookies were going to get screwed over.
okay, let's move on, right? Please. Episode 11. This is all I have written down. Kyle wins his elimination and goes from Ruby to Sapphire. That's all I have written down. That's all.
Who did Kyle go against?
I don't have that written down.
I don't remember either.
I don't even know in what.
Yeah.
Wrestling, I would imagine, right? Oh, Ed. Didn't
Oh,
Ed challenge
yeah.
Kyle?
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't talked about Ed yet. Ed, I think I really liked
Yeah.
because he's like an engineer. He's like super intelligent. Yeah, he talks like this, like shit. Is like, let's get fucked up. I'm fucking intelligent and shit like that. You know, it was crazy. And he's
Did
like
he
fucking
sound like that?
jacked. To me, he did.
I live in Oklahoma now, so that's just like a normal way of talking down here. Like my brain doesn't even like notice. I have to like think to myself like, oh, that does sound pretty southern.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's right.
So many people
Oh
sound
shit.
like that. And I like when it's really harsh, and you're like, oh shit, are you from Louisiana? Like it sounds like it.
No, it was great. I really liked Ed a lot. I want to see him again. He reminded me of Bane, where it's like a huge muscular dude, and he's like talk like this and shit like
Oh
that, you
yeah.
know. So the same thing is like a muscular dude who's super intelligent, like Bane, and he's like, "Woohoo! Let's fucking blow some firecrackers and shit like that," you know. Like, I really enjoyed every time he was on screen. He was awesome.
Yeah,
I really
he
liked
was
him.
great. I love his personality. He's very positive and outgoing. He wasn't about any drama. He was good.
He just picked one of the best eliminators so far. Like, Kyle is no joke now. Like, you know, he's a piece of shit, but he has no quitting in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
He's got a
Jesus
lot of heart.
Christ. Yeah. Even though his heart is black, shit like that, you
Yeah,
know.
like great.
Okay, so let's get on to episode 12. Oh my God, we're getting there, Dave. We're gonna end this fucker. We have we have the 500th episode. Wow.
Okay.
And yeah, well, no, I wanted to really like think this was cool and shit, but they don't. Their mission isn't that great. It's like it's kind of like football. They do have smoke. They have to like run
Oh yeah,
bags. Remember that? Yeah.
yeah. It was weird because it was like you could throw them, but if you were throwing it, you couldn't throw it into the end zone. You had to throw it before the end zone and then walk into the end zone. So they
That's
made
right.
it the one score. I think it was like Corey and Nelson's team. I don't know. It was kind of dumb. I thought like at least that rule was dumb. I thought it was a good
Yep,
concept for a mission.
exactly. Jesus Christ, because they make a pass, or right, like he catches it in the end zone, but then they're like, nope, doesn't count.
Yeah,
It tore me up inside. I'm like, God damn it, that looks so cool though. Like,
I know.
if you're ever gonna look the other way, producers, and we know you fucking do it now. Like that was awesome. Fuck. Yeah. Okay, so that was the 500th 500th episode.
Yeah.
All I have written down is Emmy goes in again, apparently. Oh, Emmy versus fuck, who did she go against? Fuck, I don't remember. But she goes to Sapphire for Uncle CT once again.
I think it
Once
was
again.
wasn't it Bettina?
Oh right, yeah. Yeah,
My
that's right. Yep. Exactly.
that episode.
So twice it, twice Emmy has gone in just to be with Uncle CT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really thought with these three teams, what was going to happen was you were going to have like someone like Kyle, because earlier in the season, Kyle, Josh, Devin, I think Nelson and Corey had also mentioned they wanted to get rid of all the veterans who were previously champions. They wanted to get rid of those guys so that way a new veteran could win. And I thought that once they had the three teams, I'm like, Kyle will get on CT's team and then he's going to throw it. So that way they're eligible to get voted in. And then they're going to try and throw in CT to get rid of them. Like it seemed like that would happen, but nothing like that's ever happened. Like CT is so protected now There's nobody going after him. All anybody's trying to do is just win and get on CT's team so that way they're protected by him. And it's just like, because they think, they're going to get to the final, he'll be on their team, and then it's a guaranteed victory.
It's a good gamble, though. I probably would do the same thing, honestly.
I mean, why not just try and get rid of him? But I think once Fessy was kicked off the show, I think that kind of changed it, because they're like, well, Fessy is big and strong like CT. I don't think any of the dudes there want to go against him one-on-one.
Well, it's so weird. First of all, CT is the... We don't know if it's going to be big teams in the end or not. I've heard rumors that it's only going to be one guy and one girl. I hate to say it, but that's what I heard. Although I've heard shit that turned out to be bogus before, but I've been spoiled way more than I've been lied to. Okay, Dave? So it makes me think, again, it's going to be useless if it's big teams. But if it's bogus information that I got, then getting with CT is a really good idea. That's how I see it. I would rather be with him than what was it, Emerald or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like Devin and all them. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like with the creation of the 3 teams, it was weird how it was all like a vet alliance and people were working together. And with the creation of the 3 teams, everybody's personal alliances have basically just been shattered. Like, it's just the 3 teams. Like, once Tori is off of her team and she's on a new team, once she's on Ruby, she is all for Ruby, and she's like, fuck you guys over there. Like, she's not helping them anymore. And like, people who were targeted, like CT, you might have wanted to get rid of him. Now he's protected because people just want to be on his team. I felt like when you had 3 teams, you would have people in alliances who are on multiple teams, alliances that would span 3 teams, and there'd be strategic stuff where people would throw someone else on their team under the bus to help someone get on their team. But I don't know.
Well, I mean, that does sort of happen. You've jumped a little bit. I just want to cover episode 13 real quick, where Logan replaces Kyle out of Sapphire. Again, joining CT. Kyle goes back to, I don't know, where does he go? Go back to Ruby, I think. Something like that. Yeah, Ruby.
Yeah.
Episode 14, Ashley is kicked out. We are not shown why or told why at all either. Yeah.
I heard she did something that was homophobic or said something.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
But I don't know what.
But she's been kicked out.
Which is weird, because who was it who called Leroy the N-word? Was it like Camilla or something?
No, wait. I don't think Camilla said the N-word. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I don't remember who it was, but I feel like it was crazy that like no one got sent home. Like, Leroy just forgave them, and it was...
Well, that was back in the day. Now MTV is like, oh shit. You mean some of our favorite people are horrible to put on in front of a camera? You know what I mean?
It was only like 3.5 or 4 years ago, it seems like. But
yeah, do you remember when Emily put that peanut butter, what was it?
It was a costume
peanut butter, what was it?
Nutella or something? I don't know.
Nutella all over her face, to dress up as Ty. Yeah. But she's gone on to great success. It's just that, MTV, basically, some of the most recognizable things, what the challenge has built themselves on, has been those outrageous moments.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, they've they try their hardest to get conflict in the house. All the shows are like, okay, if you win, that means you got to fuck over someone, and if you want to survive elimination, that means you have to like pick someone else to take your turn. You just always have to piss people off. That was more organic back in the day, and now it's just like, okay, well, when you're putting each other against each other psychologically, you want to get some outbursts. Prepare for a lot of canceling. Prepare for a lot of like them just getting thrown out of the game, because that's what you're striving for. But that's what's getting fucking called out right now. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
so it's so fucked up. It's like the UFC with CTE research going on. You know what I mean? Eventually, they're like, "Well, this is fucked up. This is really fucked up." You know, and I agree. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, because for years they've fostered that type of behavior, and now when it happens, they're all of a sudden they're like, "Oh no, you're not allowed to do this anymore."
Okay, let's get into the. Okay, so after Ashley's kicked out, Amanda goes into elimination against Big T, and I'm not going to say it was a blowout. I think Big T did a good job. But Amanda defeated Big T. But what happened, Dave? What happens?
Big T somehow doesn't go home. They're like, "All right, Big T, see you later," and TJ says goodbye to her, and then like as she's walking up the ramp, all of a sudden he's like, "Hold on, get back down here. The teams are now not even with guys and girls, and we have to keep them even," says production. So you get to stay.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was like, Big T. You won over so many of us and the producers, and other people outside of us, where they're like, no, we're gonna fucking, cheat a little bit, just keep you on. Like they kind of treated her like they would with Bananas or CT,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just like, what? I don't know about all that. Like, I don't know.
It goes against everything that an elimination stands for. If they're, oh, I have a question for you. We're 15 episodes in, and I have no idea what it's called. Is it the
No, we're only 14 episodes in. We have one episode left.
All right. Is this the lair or the layer? Is it Lair or Layer? I don't know what it's called. Every time they say it, it sounds different.
Oh shit. Well, I'm terrible at pronouncing things in general, but it's the lair. Lair. Yeah.
Is it? Well, sometimes it sounds like they're saying layer. Like we're going down to the layer.
I'm sure that's how I pronounce layer as well. Layer. If I'm not thinking about it, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Yeah.
Okay. It just blows my mind, because the whole layer is supposed to be about, the loser goes home. There's no way around it. And then all of a sudden it's just like we've seen it in the past where you get voted in and TJ is like, "Hey, guess what? Someone went home. The teams aren't even. There's no elimination tonight." Like we've seen that. But I don't ever remember seeing, okay, go to elimination. And then you're just like, well, actually, you don't even have to go home. All of this that just happened didn't matter, didn't mean anything other than, Amanda, you get to pick a new team. That's it.
Does she pick the right team? I think, sure. Sapphire, right? Or no, I'm Emerald. Sorry, replaces Tori.
Yeah, because she's trying to protect herself, like some of the weaker players, like Kyle does. He protects himself by putting himself in a good situation.
Right. But that was the end of episode 14. Now, on to the final episode, episode 15, where I just want to say, in terms of the mission, because it's like, what, T-Bone again? Hall Brawl, in a sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
So overplayed. But we do have some exciting moments. But all I have written down is Kyle messed up the Ruby and Sapphire alliance. They were going to joined forces. Remember that?
Yeah.
And they were going to have Ruby win, right? Yeah. Ruby was going to win. And because Kyle fucked up, and he's always that fucking weasel, that's when Sapphire, CT, and Emmy, and Logan, they were like, oh, fuck you guys then. We're just going to win this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like
Interesting.
Kyle, he can't do something snaky without lying about it constantly and being like, "Oh no," He's like, "It was I misheard you. That's why I did it." And it was like, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Like Kyle did the same exact thing where he fucked over a team that he was supposed to be working with.
Oh,
And
yeah.
consistently done this, and it's just like, Kyle, just shut the fuck up. We know you did it. Stop acting like it was a mistake.
I thought it was earlier this season that it happened. I'm not really sure though. Where it's like he betrayed Devin, and they got in an argument, right?
Yeah,
but it's always going to be Fessy and Kyle, Anissa, those three that will always like betray. It doesn't like never get yourself involved with any of those three. They're terrible. Yeah. All right, so finally, so they get mad at Kyle. They put him in, and he challenges Josh, which right off the bat, I was like, as much as Josh is looking good, he's the best person to go against Kyle. That's what I was thinking, because Josh he doesn't have the dexterity, basically.
Yeah.
Which can be a huge, exactly. That's always huge, I feel like. You've got to have dexterity. But yeah.
And you could see it in the T-bone thing when they're running through there. Like, there's a couple times they show Josh running, and Josh runs with like his hands up like this sometimes. And this is like, ooh, he's like running. And I'm like, okay, that's not good form, Josh. What are you doing? And once Josh gets called in there, he's like, this is about endurance, and that's like my strength is endurance. And I'm like, it is? Like, I know you've been working out a lot, Josh, but I wouldn't go ahead and say endurance is your strength. I would say strength is your strength because he's a bigger dude. But
right. Well, I don't know. I feel like Kyle does win, but it wasn't by too much. Like one tile, maybe two.
Yeah, but he got that lead early, and he was able to maintain that lead. Even when he screwed up and he missed the bell, Josh was. I mean, I'd like to see a count on who missed the bell more, but they were consistently both missing it.
Yeah, we need more. Just the way Big Brother shoots a thing, you basically see it in live, in real time, basically. That would be perfect for that, actually. So Kyle replaces Logan on Sapphire. He's once again putting himself with CT. Everyone wants to be on the CT train, and I don't blame him, Dave. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I would try and get rid of that guy for the final, but
okay, are you saying that from Kyle? If you're on CT's team, you still want to get rid of him, or are you saying if you're not on his team, you want to get rid of CT?
If I'm
both, just get rid of him.
Yeah, because to me, it's like when you're watching Johnny Bananas, like in those seasons, and some of them you're like, why is no one going after him? He's obviously the best person here. You'd think, like when you watch Survivor, everybody tries to get rid of the top dog because they're like, if he gets to the final three, he's going to win. So whoever that person is, everyone targets them. But on the challenge, people don't always target the top dog, and it like confuses me. So I'm like, I feel like on Survivor, everyone would vote that dude in immediately.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go into it. I feel like the fact that the challenge recycles their cast so much more than any other show, that is why power moves can be discouraged. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, hey, we've covered 15. Well, actually, we've covered 14 episodes. Episode 2 through episode 15. And that was Battle of the Challenges podcast. Jesus Christ. We did it with Vincent Cloud
and Hardcore Dave.